Rock and Roll Geek Show 829.
Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA, online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Friday, June 22nd, 2018, and it is 6:22 p.m. when I'm recording this show. Let me take a sip of this fine Tecate. This is the second one of the day, and as you know what they say, always the best, friends. Ah! Oh, that's good. Oh, that is good. Okay. Well, it is Friday night, and I was going to do the show last night, and I got to, one of the things I have to do when I do the show, I have to look at, see all the people who donated, and I'll write down who donated and who did what for the donation segment, and I get some sort of semblance on what maybe I feel like talking about. You know, I have a little outline, which I've totally don't have anything in this week's outline, but I was kind of preparing the show last night, and by the time I finished, it got to be about 8:30, and I had to go to work today, so I said, fuck it, I'm just going to do it on a Friday night when I have the night to get drunk and not have to go to work in the morning, although I am getting up at 4:30 in the morning to attempt to go fishing out in the ocean. It is salmon season. I'm hoping to go to Half Moon Bay, which is 30 minutes south of here, to try to catch some salmon and some Dungeness crab, and maybe some rockfish and lingcod. Hopefully the wind will not be too high, and hopefully the waves will not be too high. And if all that is cooperating, hopefully there will be no sharks, because there has been a lot of sharks spotted in the ocean, Pacific Ocean this year so far. But I'll take my chances. Hopefully I'll get to go out and fish. So I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning to do that, but I figured, I don't have to work, and fishing is not really like work. I like getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go fishing. So I'll do a show on Friday night, and here I am, friends, ready to do a show. Yesterday I got a Facebook message from Adam, the old guitar player for American Heartbreak. He's the guy who took Curtis Grant's place. Curtis died of cancer, rest his soul. Anyway, Adam took his place, and he did most of the touring in American Heartbreak with us. And he sent me this message from Pete Way. Apparently, Pete Way posted this on his Facebook, and I'm glad that Adam sent this to me, because I have not seen anything. I haven't been on the Facebook really that much, so I kind of missed this post. He posted it yesterday morning. He said, "Hey guys," this is a message from Pete Way. "Hey guys, little bit of a news update for you. I'm planning on some joint Pete Way / Waysted live shows. Worldwide, he says, worldwide dates for 2019 are currently being worked out with promoters for joint Pete Way Waysted shows that will tie in with the release of my long-awaited solo album. There will also be a brand new Waysted album! ! When I had Pete Way on the show, he said the solo album was done and it was going to be out in a couple of months. So now it's not going to be out until 2019. So I don't know what's going on with that. So I don't know whether to believe Pete Way or not, but I'm going to give it the benefit of a doubt. But it would be nice to see a new solo album from Pete Way and a new Waysted album. He says, I've been in regular contact on a daily basis with Paul Chapman, and we plan to start working on a new Waysted album imminently. Save Your Prayers 2. All right. Do I have Save Your Prayers? Yes, Save Your Prayers. That's a good album. That's on Music for Nations, actually. Waysted will have a very special guest singer of which I haven't actually asked him yet. He's counting on this guy to be his singer. If you can guess who I'm going to ask, you and your lovely wife could win a free photo session with the legendary international rock royalty photographer Ross Halfin. Clue: his name begins with the letter J, and he supports Sheffield United football team. He is the master of vocal melodies, so pour some sugar on me, 1 lump or 2. He's sometimes known to close friends as our Joe or Oscar Wilde. Well, I'm assuming he's going to ask Joe Elliott from Def Leppard. Think about that. I don't know if you know who Waysted is, but I'm going to play a Waysted song for you in a minute. They were a great band. Great fucking band. They put out an album called, well, the first album was Vices. Came out on Chrysalis. He formed you already know this story. He formed Waysted with, he formed Fastway with Fast Eddie Clarke. And he bailed out of that because he was still signed to Chrysalis. So instead of doing Fastway, he started his own band called Waysted. And the first album was called Vices. He had Paul Raymond from. Let me close out the Facebook here. I can't close out the Facebook, so I'm going to get notifications. He recorded Vices on Chrysalis with Paul Raymond from UFO. I believe Paul Chapman's on that album too, and a singer named Finn, who was a great singer. I love that guy. Whatever happened to him? Is he still alive? If you know, let me know, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. And that was a good album on Chrysalis. Then after that, I'm pretty sure he got dropped from Chrysalis. And then he put out a couple more albums called Save Your Prayer. Save Your Prayer? Save Your Prayers came out on a major label too. But he put out an album called The Good, the Bad, and the Waysted on Music for Nations, which is a fucking great, great album. Vice is a good album too. Save Your Prayers, I believe that's the one that has Knocking on Your Heaven's Door without Finn. Has this kind of like rode the glam wave. Anyway, I'm back to Pete Way's Facebook post. I'm tracking the final 4 vocals needed to finish my long-awaited solo album in the next couple of weeks. Really? When I talked to him, he was already done. Thanks for your patience, guys. My doctor says that I'm doing good, but to please hurry up and finish off the solo album as the medical bills need paying. Mike Klink and my long-term friend and associate Jason Poole are currently finalizing the solo album. In the meantime, if Slash wouldn't mind giving up his day job with Guns N' Roses, I'd love to get him involved. I know Slash has a kind heart, and Duff inspires me to stay on track. That's his words. Inspires me to stay on track. I will be paying tribute to some of my close friends and rock heroes that have sadly passed at my shows, and we can all sing along and raise a toast to them. I promise I will be sober, and no drugs will be in my system. This really matters to me, as do you, the fans. Coming to Rocky in 2019. It's only rock and roll, but we like it. Love, Pete. Well, I would love to. First of all, the solo album's long overdue, and I hope it comes out while Pete Way is still alive. Is he going to do I think he's going to do a new Waysted album? I'm going to give it the benefit of a doubt, but I kind of think he's wishful thinking. Although it would be nice to hear a Waysted album with Joe Elliott on vocals. That would be cool. So I'm going to play for you something from Good, the Bad, and the Waysted. If you have the Rock and Roll Geek iPhone app or iPhone or Android app, do not go to the bonus section on this episode because there will not be a link to where you can buy this album, Waysted, The Good, the Bad, and the Waysted, on the bonus section. There will not. So do not look for it because that would just be wrong, friends. All right, here's a song called, I could pretty much pick any song for this album, but this is the one I picked because it is under 5 minutes long. So here you go. This song is called Rolling Out the Dice.
Just like the moth flies to a flame, keeps returning back again. It's the only way it knows, and it goes to where the fire burns brightest. much brighter. Oh, when I saw you standing there, it never crossed my mind. I didn't care about the jealous words I heard being said by you and your so-called friends. You made me down, but out you're not. 5 years isn't 10. I know you'll be back. Rolling, rolling, rolling out the dice. Rolling, rolling, rolling out the dice. Watch out, stick eyes, here we come again. Hey, we're back on the chase for me. Go for gold again. I'm running with the pack like a moth to a flame. We made it down, but I will not. 5 years isn't 10. What can we beg him again for? And rolling, rolling, rolling out the dice. Rolling, rolling, rolling out the dice. Gotta ask yourself one question. You feel lucky? Rolling, rolling, rolling out the dice. Rolling, rolling, rolling out the dice. Rolling, rolling, rolling out the dice. Rolling, rolling, rolling
There you go. Rolling Out the Dice, Waysted. Great album. Once again, do not look at the bonus content on the Rock and Roll Geek iPhone or Android app because this album will not be there for you to download. There will not be a link to where you can download this album for free because that would just be wrong, friends. Do not look for the little white thing that says bonus content because that would just be wrong. All right, enough of that. Okay, here is the favorite part of well, it's probably the least favorite, but it's my favorite because this is when I thank everybody for their support of the show. This show, as you may or may not know, is what Adam Curry calls a value for value model, meaning if this show gives you value, I ask you to donate what kind of value it gives you. So if you think the show is you can't live without this show, it's worth $100 an episode, feel free to go to rockandrollgeek.com and either click the Patreon link or the PayPal link and donate $100. If you think it's a piece of crap and it's not worth anything, but you still want to support it somehow, you can go to rockandrollgeek.com and click the Amazon link. And every time you buy something on Amazon, I will get a little kickback. So that's one way to support the show if you're a cheap bastard and you think the show's not worth anything. Or you can go to Patreon. First of all, let me find some music for this segment here. I found this thing on Ultimate Classic Rock. A band called Co-op, led by Alice Cooper's son Dash, announces their first LP. I didn't even know Alice Cooper had a son who had a band. I didn't know he had a son. I thought he just had Calico, but shows what I know. His son, Alice Cooper's son Dash, will step into the spotlight with his band Co-op later this year when the band is scheduled to release its debut album. Dash Cooper, band's called Co-op. Get it? Coop, C-O-O-P. Yeah, you get it. All right, so anyway, why don't we listen to Alice Cooper's son's Dash's album, The Co-op, which came out June 15th, a few days ago. We'll listen to that in the background while I thank people. I have no idea how this album sounds, so judging by the way they look, let me find the picture of the band. So the band is like positioned behind a road case that says Co-op. Far left is a guy with a slick down hairstyle with some tattoos, short hair, and a scruffy beard. Next to him is a guy with like a two-tone hair, kind of in a faux hawk. Next to him is a guy who looks kind of chubby and's got beard and some sort of hat. He might be Alice Cooper's son. I don't know. I'm assuming he is because he's in the middle. They kind of look like a generic metal band, so that's what I'm guessing this could be. I have not listened to the band yet, so let's listen together while we thank the people who donated. This first, might as well start from the beginning. Now, N-O-W. Oh, boy.
Knees in the dirt, eyes to the sky, weight of the boot crushing down as we.
Sounds like they tuned down to C. Ugh.
Can't see where to begin, looking for a fix to forget the state where.
Well, there's another song called Old Scratch featuring Alice Cooper on vocals. Let's hear how that one sounds. Still tuned down low. Ugh, I can't get into that drop tuning. All right, so there's several ways to donate to the show. First, you can go to patreon.com/RNRGeek. This is bad. This is really bad. Ugh. Thank you to Michael Brown, my friend from childhood. Grew up with him. We used to go to all the concerts together. Thank you, Mike Brown, for donating $25 every episode. Thank you to Joe Pawlak. Donates $6.66 to every episode. Thanks to a new donor, Tim Schall. $5 every episode. Thanks, Tim Schall. Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show, friends and family. Take a sip of this fine Tecate to you while we listen to some crappy Alice Cooper's Son music. I don't hear Alice Cooper. Is he just singing backup vocal? Another new donor. Thank you to Sean Hartwell. Also donates $5 every episode. Welcome, Sean. Nice to have you, friend. Thank you to Alex Oliver for the $5 every episode. Alex owns bathroomwall.co.uk, sleazy rock and roll, home of the rock and roll geek clothing line, which has the brand new me cream-inspired me shirt. There's a Disco Sucks shirt, all kinds of good shirts there. Go to rockandrollgeek.com and click the link and you can find. But if you use the code I Love Michael Butler, you get free shipping anywhere in the world. And not just the Rock and Roll Geek clothing line, he's got a lot of cool shirts. I wear them proudly. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing one right now that says Dr. Rock. It's a Motorhead-inspired shirt. Thanks, Alex Oliver. I really appreciate it, friend. Thanks to Robert Harvey for the $5 every episode. Thanks to Brad Shick for the $5 every episode. There's one song that has Joe Perry on it, I think. How? This one supposedly has Joe Perry on. Let me see if I can get this one to play. Come on. I'm trying to play this off of Amazon Music, and I can't get the fucking thing to play. All right, stop. Ugh. That's just bad, man. All right, where am I? Thanks to Brad Shick for the $5. Also, thanks, Brad Shick, for the... he sent me a stack. Turn this crap down. This is fucking horrible. Sent me a stack of Kiss Psycho Circus Spawn comics. Thank you, Brad Shick, for the comic books and the $5 donation. Thanks to Bette Wood for the $5. Thanks to Daniel Segan for the $5. Thanks to friend of the show, Michael Street, for the $5. Michael Street also paid for a dinner and co-host a show in Nashville for the Rockin' Pod Expo that I'm going to be at August 25th. Hope to see you there, friends. Go to rockinpodexpo2.com. I think that there's a link on rockandrollgeek.com on the show notes of this episode. I will see Michael Street there, and I think somebody else is coming too. That paid for a dinner. Is it Richard Fusey? Maybe Richard Fusey. I'm not sure. Thanks to Ken Kennedy for the $5 every episode. Thanks to my friend Chiaki Hinohara of the Metal Moment podcast and the Japanese Metalhead Show for the $5 every episode. Thanks to Brian Springer for the $5 every episode. Thanks to my co-host of Mad at Dad and my podcast mentor, Dave Slusher, and host of the Evil Genius Chronicles, Dave Slusher, for the $5. Thanks to Paul Raub for the $2.25 every episode. Thanks to Patrick Shanahan for the $2. I don't hear Joe Perry on this. God, this is fucking horrible, man. Ugh. Thanks to Paul Underwood for the $2. Thanks to Mario Zoth for the $2. Thanks to Bruce McMillan for the $2. Thanks to Matthew Hunt for the $2. Thanks to Metal Dan for the $1 every episode. Thanks to Arnie Stash for the $1 every episode. Thanks to Ron Embody for the $1 every episode. Thanks to Three Legs, Four Wheels, $1 every episode. Thanks to Bon Stone for $1 every episode. Thanks to Mike Dixon for $1 every episode. Thanks to John Richardson for the $1 every episode. Thanks to Corey Kohler for the $1 every episode. Is there anything good on this piece of shit? Let me see. What else? Maybe something. I'm about ready to bail on this. Oh, what's this? Okay, maybe this is good. You can also donate through PayPal, like these people did. Douglas Free donated $20. Thank you, Douglas Free. My First Girlfriend, Elodie Johns, for $20. Thanks to James Venners for the $10. Thanks to friend of the show and friend of mine, Ralph Miller, for the $10. Thanks to friend of the show and friend of mine, Todd Cunningham, for the $10. Thanks to Jason Shepard for the $10. Thanks to BJ Lisco for the $10. Thanks to Dave Jackson in the School of Podcasting for the $10. Thanks to Jeff and Sherry Thielalaki for the $10. Thanks to Dave Franco for the $10. Thanks to Eric Lentz for the $5. Thanks to Kelly Mitchell for the $5. Thanks to Michael Williams for the $5. Sigmund Heidacher for the $5. Oh, this is so bad. Does anybody friends of the show, do you like this kind of music? Because this seems to be like the popular kind of hard rock and metal now. You have Five Finger Death Punch and Stained and Shinedown. They all sound like this, right? It must be good. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, good luck to the co-op. I hope they have huge success. Where was I? Thanks to Richard Strom for the $5. Thanks to Andrew Howell for the $5. Thanks to Dale Roller for the $5. Thanks to John Tennis for the $5. Thanks to Greg Long for the $5. Thanks to John Baveri for the $5. Thanks to Jer O'Carroll for the $5. Thanks to Christopher Del Grande for the $5. Thanks to, again, another $5 donation from Kelly Mitchell. Thanks to John Offenlach for the $5. Thanks to Brett Garsky for the $5. Thanks to Richard Fusey for the $5. Thanks to Craig Vasiloff for the $5. Thanks to Jeff C.A. for the $5. By the way, the other person who paid for the dinner with Butler and the co-host in Nashville, if you're not Richard Fusey, whoever you are, thank you, friend. We'll be drinking all day. Donate, buy a ticket to that thing. I think it's only $10 if you go to the website and order and just buy a ticket for $10. And if you go to Nashville, you come hang out at my booth. I'm gonna have 30-pack of Tecates, and we will drink all day long, friends. for the mere price of $10. Thanks to, all right, where was I? Thanks to Kelly Mitchell for the $5. Thanks to John Offenlaw. Okay, Richard Fusey. Well, thanks to Craig Vasiloff for the $5. Thanks to Jeff CA for the $5. Thanks to Deborah Dreyfus, if that's your real name, for the $2. Thanks to Lassie Satvenhagen for the $2. Thanks to John Skiller for the $2. Thanks to Richard Fusey for another $2 donation. Thanks to Bradford Page for the $2. Thanks to Peter Spark for the $2. And finally, thanks to Adrian Boschrock on the forums and on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook page, which I did not create, but I do approve people. So if you want to be part of the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, there's two of them. The one with the most members, that's the one that we all participate in. There's always good stuff being posted there every day by friends of the show. Just ask to be included, and you'll have to ask a couple of very simple questions to prove that you're not a spam person, and then I will approve you, friends. All right, enough of this garbage. Oh, thanks to everybody who donated to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Without your donations, this show would die a horrible, putrid, stench-filled co-op kind of death. All right. Take a sip of this fine Tecate before we continue. On that same Ultimate Classic Rock page, I scrolled down. It's got their tour dates and stuff. And right underneath that, it says Alice Cooper albums ranked worst to best. So I thought what we would do is we would look at their list and try to compare notes and maybe hear a little bit of music from each of these albums that they have ranked from worst to best. Alice Cooper has 26 albums from the Alice Cooper group all the way through his solo album. So including the Alice Cooper group and solo album, supposedly there's 26 albums. I'm not sure if I have all 26, but hopefully I will. So here they are, according to Ultimate Classic Rock, ranked worst to best. And according to Ultimate Classic Rock, the worst. Let me see if I need to pull up the Wikipedia and see where these albums charted too. Alice Cooper Wiki. Okay, I think that will tell me where the albums charted. I hope. Okay. Yes, it will, I think. So, the worst, according to Ultimate Classic Rock, the worst of all 26 Alice Cooper albums is Raise Your Fist and Yell from 1987. Let me see if I can find Raise Your Fist and Yell. Do I have that on my iTunes? I have to scroll down because I have a lot of Alice Cooper. I did not prepare by putting a song in my playlist, which I should have, but I figured I would make things difficult on myself. All right, here we are. So it says, this album isn't at the bottom of the barrel because of its laughably awful cover work. The cover is a fist, and on that fist is Alice Cooper's face, which is kind of cheesy album cover, I admit that. Cooper, aided and abetted by guitarist Kane Roberts and bassist Kip Winger, created the kind of music you'd hear blaring away at the high school bully's boombox in a schlocky 80s movie. With its brain-itching solos and relentlessly chintzy production, Raise Your Fist and Yell is definitely from the wrong side of the tracks. He goes from character to caricature. All right, enough of that. So what was on Raise Your Fist and Yell? Freedom. I don't know any of these tunes because honestly, I kind of got off I kind of started losing interest in Alice Cooper after, probably after Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. So I kind of, there's some albums that I liked, but I kind of stopped buying albums after stopped buying Alice Cooper albums after Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. But I did hear some. Might as well listen to a little burping up was fine. Tecate, I apologize. So the first song in the album, Freedom. Let's learn a little bit of that. All right. Crappy drum sound. And Kane Roberts is that guy, big muscle-bound guitar player. I saw them on forget which album he had out. Constrictor, I think, was the one that I saw on that. Yeah, generic 80s metal.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, stop pretending that you've never been bad. You're never wrong and you've never been dirty. You're such a
That's not horrible.
the way we see you.
Production's not great, but it's not horrible.
You change the lyrics and become Big Brother. This ain't Russia. You ain't my dad or mother. They never knew anyway. 'Cause I never walk away.
This album achieved gold status in Canada. It hit the highest it charted in the United States was 73. All right, not horrible, but it's according to Ultimate Classic Rock, it is the worst. Who produced that album? That album was produced by Michael Wagner, who lives in Nashville. I think, as a matter of fact, I think Michael Wagner is going to be at that Rock and Pod Expo. Maybe I'll talk to him and ask him what he thinks about being ranked the worst Alice Cooper album by Ultimate Classic Rock. Oh, maybe I'll try to get Michael Wagner on the show, and I'll ask him. That'll be the first thing I ask him, and then he'll say, "You're a fucking asshole. This interview's over." All right. All right. According to Ultimate Classic Rock, the second to the worst album number 25, is Zipper Catches Skin. Now, I don't remember liking Zipper Catches Skin. That album, the album cover is a weird album cover. It's got all the song lyrics on the front of the cover. I have that on vinyl, actually. There's a song on that that is on the soundtrack of Class of 1999. What does it say here? Cooper has called his early 80s LP his blackout period. Yeah, because he was supposedly all coked out of his mind, he says. There's a good documentary made, was it, I forget who made it, but it's about Alice Cooper, and a lot of it covers the blackout period. His substance abuse problems became so severe that he has no memory of making these albums. I don't know if I believe that. One listen to the new wave Zipper Catches Skin, and you might wish you had no memory of hearing it. It sounds exactly like the scattered ramblings of a coke addict. All right. Well, the song I remember is this one, I Am the Future. This is on the soundtrack to Class of 1999, which is a B-horror movie, which I like that movie, Class of 1999. Let me get it past this open. This probably doesn't really hold up. I'm going to get it to the chorus. I remember liking this chorus. It's a good chorus. This is around the same time as the Roadie soundtrack, I believe. Remember the movie Roadie with Meatloaf? Alice Cooper's in that. I could be wrong about that. I think he does Pain on the Roadie soundtrack, and Pain is on Pain on Flush the Fashion, but this is around that same time. A little bit more of this. It says, with tunes about Ebenezer Scrooge and Zorro, lyrics about television brands, and a song dedicated to E.T., the Spielberg-inspired No Baloney Homo Sapiens is so bizarre it's almost enjoyable. Almost. Let's hear a little bit of No Baloney Homo Sapiens. It's been a long time since I listened to this album. I kind of don't hate this album because it sounds a little experimental, and I like when people experiment. Yeah, it's a little dull, though, isn't it? All right, get on with it. I'm going to fast forward to the middle of the tune. Zipper Catches Skin did not chart at all. It came up to 94 in Canada. On Warner Brothers Records. Who produced that one? Alice Cooper produced this one. Alice Cooper and Eric Scott, huh? Yeah, when you're coked out, you also think you're a record producer. The albums that were in his blackout period were this album, Zipper Catches Skin, Special Forces, and an album called Dada.
Your underestimation will defeat you, but don't worry, we're civilized now. We won't eat you, 'cause we're no baloney, we're homo sapiens.
This doesn't suck.
Ain't no phony. Yeah, we're no baloney, homo sapiens.
I kind of like that. All right. Number 24 of the albums ranked from worst to last of Alice Cooper is an album called Constrictor. I saw him on this tour. I think this is when he kind of retired after. Let me see if I can get my dates right here. After 1980, yeah, after he did Dada in '83, he kind of retired to get clean. So the story goes, and this was his comeback album, Constrictor. Saw him on this tour, and I was really excited to see him because I had never seen Alice Cooper before because I was too young to see him back in the early 70s. And so this had been the first time I saw him, and it was a great show. Kane Roberts was on bass, was on guitar. I think Kip Winger was probably on guitar too. I think Randy Piper from Wasp was also in the band at the time. I think. I should probably pull up Constrictor here, see who played on this album. Let's see, the personnel. Kane Roberts, Kip Winger. I'm wrong about Randy Piper, but I think I remember Randy Piper touring the band. I could be wrong on that, and I probably am. I'm always wrong about everything. So, what does it say about Constrictor? I know that was a good tour because I liked it, but I don't remember the songs on Constrictor. Let me pull up Constrictor and see do I have Constrictor? I think I do. Yeah, I could have been prepared, but I'm not. Why would I possibly want to be prepared? Oh, Teenage Frankenstein's on this. Okay, let's hear a little bit of that. Teenage Frankenstein. After years of drug abuse and experimental albums, Cooper took some time off to get clean in the mid-'80s. Oh, there you go. He returned a few years later with a makeup bag and a metal edge. While it's great to hear an employee's full-throated yell on Teenage Frankenstein, bad drum sound again. Horrible drum sound. So much of Constrictor constrains its star to the thin sonic limitations of poorly processed pop metal. Yeah, it is poorly processed.
I'm the kid on the block with my head made of rock.
That snare sound is fucking horrible.
I'm the state of the art.
I think the single on this was on the Friday the 13th soundtrack. He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask. Yeah, the sampled snare is bad. Did Kane Roberts produce this? I think he might have.
You're with your baby and your
Oh, yeah, it's a bad. Bo Hill produced this. Who's Bo Hill? What did he produce? Ah, what a surprise. He produced Winger.
Right. Did you hear that voice? Did you see that face? Or was it just a dream? This can't be
Constrictor
real.
was gold in Canada. Reached number 59 on the American music charts.
Almighty's back. He's the man behind the mask. And he's out of control.
Yeah, 80s sound.
The man behind the mask.
So 80s.
Crawl out of his home.
All right, enough of that. It was a good concert, though. I remember that. Number 23 from 1991, Hey Stupid. 2 years after Trash and Poison returned Cooper to the mainstream. Okay, this was the third of the comeback albums or whatever. Well, I guess Constrictor would consider this a comeback album, but he did, once glam things started happening, he did have some success with Trash and those albums. You know those albums. Hey Stupid tried to keep him in the mainstream. It sort of worked. One of the album's better songs, Feed My Frankenstein, which he still plays live. See if I can find Hey Stupid here. See, I never got into all this era of Alice Cooper. Somehow, just seemed to me when I was younger, when I heard these albums, they just kind of sounded a little bit cheesy to me. But sometimes it's fun to go back and listen to them because maybe I find things that I liked. We all know Feed My Frankenstein, right? And this one, he plays this one live. Oh, it was in Wayne's World. That's why it was a hit.
I know you're hungry.
On this album, he had Slash guesting on it, Ozzy, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Nikki Sixx, Mick Mars. He kind of rode the LA metal bandwagon during this time. Platinum in the UK or in Canada, gold in the United States, silver in the UK. Reached number 47 on the charts in the US.
Man, but I don't want pizza. I'll blow down your house, and then I'm gonna eat ya. Bring you to a simmer, right on time. Run my greasy fingers.
When I hear him play this, if I go see him play live when this song gets played, I usually, if I'm out of beer, I'll take this opportunity to go get a beer. Who plays on this album?
Hungry for love and it's feeding time. You don't wanna talk.
This album's on Epic Records, produced by Peter Collins, who produced Bon Jovi, Queensryche.
Make my tattoos melt in the heat. Well, I ain't know that you like my flesh on the bone. Alive and licking on your ice cream cone. Feed my Frankenstein. Meet my libido.
I think Nikki Sixx plays bass on this track. Steve Vai plays guitar on this track. John Webster, keyboards, I don't know who that is. Ozzy sings background on Hey Stupid.
Oh yeah, feed my Frankenstein. Whoa, whoa, baby, chow down. Feed my Frankenstein.
All right, enough of that Feed My Frankenstein bullshit. All right, number 22. Another record from the blackout period, Special Forces, 1981. You look at videos from this album, from this time. I think he performed on Saturday Night Live. This is on the documentary I saw. I hope you're with me on this Alice Cooper bit here. I'm a huge. I love talk. I can talk Alice Cooper all fucking night, which maybe I will. You can watch there. There's a performance on this document on the documentary I saw. I think it's a Saturday Night Live performance. It's from some TV show, and Alice Cooper is so skinny and gaunt. He looks like he's about to die during this tour. I think Mike Panera, or is it Mike Panera? Is that how you pronounce it? The guy from Cactus. I think he was in the band. The band dressed in like green beret outfits, and Alice. It was kind of a military look. Had special forces. Finishing up the second toccata here. Or is this the third? I think I'm on the third now. Finishing up the third. 1981, another of Cooper's Blackout albums, Special Forces fares better than Get Zipper Catches Skin because the singer's frantic energy plays into the record's sonic identity. It's a lot of sharp edges and martial beats through which Cooper growls vaguely militaristic commands. See? Yeah, there you go, military. But robotic backing vocals and gauzy keyboards make songs like You're a Movie and Skeletons in the Closet sound like parodies of the New Wave era. All right, let's see if we can find Special Forces here. Again, why would I just take a song? Because that would just be too easy. Special Forces. All right. On the cover of this is just there's two swords and there's a framed photograph on the wall, small framed photograph. It's a gaunt Alice Cooper with no makeup. He's wearing makeup, but it's not the classic Alice Cooper makeup. Let's see. What song do I... Oh, he does a live version of Generation Landslide on this album, which is the fifth song. It's probably the end of side one. It's kind of maybe I Don't Have Enough Songs. I must start off with the first song on the album. Who Do You Think We Are? (1981), which is the follow-up to Flush the Fashion, which is I think Flush the Fashion is a good album. That's another new wavy sounding album. All right, enough of the minute-long filler. Again, thinly produced.
I'm machinery.
Yeah, I kind of like this. It's a little new wavy, little syncopated vocals. Devo.
When you think I'm not, I'm razor sharp and I'm white and hot. My finger squeezes off the final.
Yeah, I like this.
Say goodbye. No integrity. No conscience, I'm just soul and blood. Insanity.
This album on Warner Brothers. This is when he's still on Warner Brothers. The original Alice Cooper was on Warner Brothers. Produced by Richard Polidor, best known as the producer of Three Dog Night.
Special forces in an armored car. Who do you think we are?
Oh, this TV show that he performed on was Tomorrow's Show with Tom Snyder. See who played on this album. I think Mike Panera from Cactus.
I'm carnivorous.
Yep, I'm right. Mike Panera on guitar from Cactus. Danny Johnson also on playing guitar. Danny Johnson played on Welcome to My Nightmare.
Black and blue. I'm always there when you think I'm not. I'm razor sharp and I'm white and hot. My finger squeezes off the final shot. Say goodbye. Who do you think we are? Special forces in an armored car.
I like this.
Who do you think we are?
Certified Gold in Canada. Reached number 44. Wait a minute. No, I take it back. That's Flush the Fashion. This album didn't chart. Reached number 125 in the U.S. I believe this is the one. No, he got dropped after Dada, the third of the Blackout albums. This was the first of the Blackout albums. I like this. An interesting period in Alice Cooper's career, I think. May not be great, but I'm interested in that. So number 21, let me better take a sip of this fine. Excuse me, I better grab another fine Tecate here. 21, from worst to best, according to Ultimate Classic Rock. Easy Action, 1970. This is the album before. This was the last album on. I think they did 2 albums on Alice Cooper's, or not, on Frank Zappa's label, Straight Records. 1970 album. Alice Cooper. This was the second album they did. Take 2, Butler. Calm down. Get your shit together. Open up another Tecate. Put it in the Yeti knockoff. Open it up. You're not in a big hurry. Think like Eddie Trunk does. Say the same shit over and over again. All right, enough of that. Take a sip of my 4 Tecate. So, Alice Cooper signed to Frank Zappa's label, and I'm listening back to an interview with, I think, Shep Gordon. It turned out Frank Zappa signed the Alice Cooper group because Warner Brothers wanted him to start a label and have bands fail. This is a story that I got. If he could put out several albums and they failed, they would have to pay him off like millions of dollars. There was something in the contract. They were going to let him start a record label, or a side record label, or a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. And part of the deal was if the first 2 records he made failed, or first so-and-so records he failed, Warner Brothers had to buy him out of the contract for millions of dollars. So the plan was for the records to fail. So anyway, the second album, Easy Action, 1970. I was listening to this one the other day, and this album's actually holds up better than I remember it. I remember not liking it, but you can hear early flashes of extreme brilliance, mainly from Dennis Dunaway. So what does it say here about it? Alice Cooper's second album displays hints of the greatness his band would achieve in just one more album's time. There are nods to Broadway. Yeah, this is the album before Bob Ezrin came on board. There are nods to Broadway. Expressive vocal turns by Alice Cooper. He shreds his throat on Return of the Spiders, and some lurching rock. But the roughed-up crunch that would serve the group so well in subsequent years is held at bay by Easy Action's anemic sound, which band members blamed on producer David Briggs, but it's not like they had great songs yet either. A little bit of Mr. and Misdemeanor.
And
1970, way ahead of its time.
middle of the road, step beside the ocean.
They give this what? They're on the number 21 out of 26? I'd have to disagree with that. I think it should be way higher up.
Lucky Luciano.
I think the deal was Frank Zappa, if he didn't have a success by 3 albums, they had to buy him out of the contract, and he would make millions. So it was in Frank Zappa's best interest to sign a band that sucked and would not sell records. I think that's why, I always heard that's why he signed the Alice Cooper group. Not because he saw brilliance and he thought they were great, because he just thought they were so out there that nobody would buy the shit. All right, songs aren't great, but you can hear the flashes of what will become, to me, one of the greatest bands of all time. All right, number 20, Lace and Whiskey from 1977. This is the third solo album from Alice Cooper. He did Welcome to My Nightmare, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell, and then he followed it up with Lace and Whiskey. And he shed the horror rock, or whatever you call it. He shed the Alice Cooper. And he became a new guy named Maurice Escargot, and it was more like a detective type thing, kind of like when the original Alice Cooper group did Muscle of Love. They kind of went that direction as well, and I think he kind of went off that, kind of rehashed that a little bit, and he became like a private detective, something like that. Gumshoe, Maurice Escargot. That's it. I think this album had a hit song on it. Was You and Me on Lace and Whiskey? I think it was. Let me pull up Lace and Whiskey here. You know this tune. This was a massive hit for him. Yeah, this song is sappy crap, but it was a major hit. So Ultimate Classic Rock says, for his third solo album, Alice ditched the guillotines and ghouls for a fedora and a revolver. That's right, the Alice alter ego took on its own alter ego, Gumshoe Maurice Escargot. In addition, the idea behind Lace and Whiskey was to combine 70s rock with the pop of the 40s and 50s. Given the boogie woogie of Damned If You Do, a cover of Ubangi Stomp, the featherweight ballad You and Me, which was a top 10 hit, and the disco-fied No More Love at Your Convenience, it feels all a bit too much poorly conceived cabaret show. What's not poorly conceived is It's Hot Tonight, featuring grimy riffage from Dick Wagner and Steve Hunter.
Is what I am. And I tell you, babe, well, that's enough.
All right, let's hear a little bit of It's Hot Tonight, the opening track. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Bob Ezrin produced this one. This is the first one that didn't go gold. All the ones before that, from Love It to Death on through Goes to Hell, either went gold or platinum in the United States, I believe. And this was the first one that didn't. It only made it to number 42. Even though You and Me Ain't No Superstar or You and Me was a top 10 hit, it didn't make the record sell. Yeah, I would have thought when I was a kid in 1977 that he was huge. That song's not that great, actually. All right, number 19. Pretties for You. They rate Pretties for You higher than Easy Action? Huh. Pretties for You came out in 1969. This is the first one that they put out under Frank Zappa's straight label. It says, the Alice Cooper Band's avant-garde debut is more interesting than it is good. Between the psychedelic jams, wacky time signatures, and trippy half songs, you can understand why Frank Zappa would have liked them to sign them, would have liked them enough to sign them to a record deal. Where's Pretties for You? I believe there's a song on here that they rehashed for $1 Billion Babies. Where's Pretties for You here? Reflected, yeah. Here's Reflected became Elected, right? This album is a lot of noise to me. I would rate Easy Action higher than Pretties for You. Man, I'll tell you, Dennis Dunaway. Yeah, you hear that. I want to be elected.
Be reflected. You look outstanding with your eyes in disguise. Just beyond a master. Only Hollywood keep its divine.
That original Alice Cooper group, greatest band of all time. They're fucking greatest. They were total. I know this sounds a little Beatlesque, but they were original, man. There was nothing like these guys. They were totally fucking out there. All right. Number 18, Along Came a Spider. Now, I know nothing about this album. Nothing at all. Do I even have Along Came a Spider? I probably do. Maybe I don't. Uh-oh, I don't, do I? Oh, well, we can't listen to anything from Along Came a Spider. Oh, maybe I can. Maybe I have Amazon Music. Let me look for Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper, Along Came a Spider. Okay, good. I can find something on that. The late era concept record. This record came out in 2008. The late era concept record might contain the most coherent narrative. Am I still recording here? Yes. It's going to be a long episode. I hope you're okay with that. We're geeking out on Alice Cooper. I hope that's okay, friends. This late era concept record might contain the most coherent narrative of any of Alice Cooper's story albums. He plays a sinister serial killer spider who is collecting legs of his victims to make his own human spider. Cooper sneers his way through the proceedings, and he makes the character consistently creepy, even when singing along to an instantly outdated electronic beat of Wake the Dead. With producer and frequent Cooper Bob Ezrin's still producing I think Bob Ezrin came back for this. Oh, maybe not. No, he didn't produce this one. Would Bob Ezrin have let that happen? Had he been helming the record? Probably not, and the sounds would have been more epic, the songs more distinct. As such, it's a pretty tangled web. All right, what's on Along Came a Spider? Okay, come on. Along Came a Spider. Come on out. Is it not on here? I don't... Well, let's just say... All right, I don't have Along Came a Spider, and I can't find it on Amazon or Amazon Music, but I found it on YouTube. We're probably going to get a commercial here. Of course we are. All right, here it is. A little bit of I Know Where You Live.
We found his diary today.
Oh, God.
He wrote in great detail how cleverly he planned all of the killings, how precisely he executed his insane fantasies. It was all so perfect, except for one thing.
One thing. One thing. One thing. One thing.
I've got a decent guitar sound. Horrible snare sound.
I like to watch from my car. I like to make sure you don't go far. I know the hours you sleep.
All right. It's a concept album about a serial killer. You get it. All right. No wonder I don't have it. I would have put that below Pretty's For You and below Easy Action. Number 17, Brutal Planet from 2000. I don't know shit about Brutal Planet. I think that's when he went like industrial. Yeah, here you go. Alice Cooper goes industrial. Doesn't sound like the best idea, and well, it wasn't. Cooper's not quite the chameleon David Bowie was. He was jumping on bandwagons. That's probably around the time that Nine Inch Nails was big, right? 2000? Fuck if I know. I'm not a huge Nine Inch Nails fan either. Let's hear a little bit of... here you go. Cooper's not quite the chameleon David Bowie was. Plus, he was a little late to the industrial rock party. Still, there are decent songs buried in the sludge, including the lumbering title track Gimme, sung from Satan's perspective. All right. The lumbering title track and Gimme. All right, listen to a little bit of the title track, Brutal Planet. Oh, God. Tune down to fucking B. Alice Cooper drop tuning. Do we...
We're spinning round on this ball of hate. There's no parole, there's no great escape. We're sentenced here until the end of days. And then, my brother, there's a price to pay.
Produced by Bob Marlette, who produced Crocus.
We're only
Also produced Red Square Black Square EP with John 5, which, by the way, when I auditioned for Ozzy, I don't know if I ever told you that story. Maybe I'll tell you it in detail sometime. The band that was playing the Ozzy tunes when I went to audition was Red Square Black, and John 5 was the guitar player.
come down to. It's such a brutal planet. It's such an ugly world. Why won't you?
You're putting this higher than Easy Action. Yeah, okay. I'm not into the drop tuning again. Sounds like his son's band. Although he has better choruses than his son's band. All right, number 16. Oh, did Brutal Planet chart? Let's see. Brutal Planet. Did not chart. It peaked at 193 on the U.S. Top 200. All right, number 16, Trash, 1989. This is Alice Cooper decided to enlist Desmond Child to produce his album and co-write. When Cooper decided to team up with power ballad maestro Desmond Child, he had his sights set on the charts, and it worked. Yeah, this album was huge for Alice Cooper. I don't know if I wasn't on board with this one either. What was the hit song on Trash? Did Slash play on this one too? Probably not. I remember in Rip Magazine, I think it was Rip Magazine, there was a centerfold and it said, "To Slash from Trash." All right, where's Trash? Do I have it? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, you all know this hit song. Can't stand this fucking song. This is Alice Cooper does Bon Jovi pretty much. This album went platinum in Australia, gold in AUT, whatever that is, platinum in Canada, platinum in the United States, gold and platinum in most countries, pretty much. Peaked at number 20 in the United States. Sing along! Jacking off to Bon Jovi. All right.
I want it too much. I want to taste you, but your lips are venomous poison. Your poison running.
All right, yeah. He even let Desmond Child produce it.
I don't want to break these chains.
Hey, what do I know? It worked. This was during the peak of the hair metal time. This is Alice Cooper goes hair metal.
I'm caught, your skin so wet, black lace on sweat.
Everybody sing along!
I hear you calling and it's needles and pins. I wanna hurt you just to hear you screaming my name.
All right, enough of that. Number 15, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell, 1976. I saw him. He was hosting the rock, I think it was called the Rock Music Awards. Him and is either Dionne Warwick or Diana Ross. I get those two. Confused. It was one of those two, and they were announcing the next performance. Whoever, the Dionne Warwick or Diana Ross, whichever one, says, "Alice, who's our next nominees?" And he goes, "Screw that! I don't want to do this anymore. I want to get out of here." And he runs out into the audience and he grabbed. This is on television. When I was 76, what was I, 15 years old, 14 or 15? He runs out, grabs a girl from the front row, starts beating her, starts punching her out. Turns out it's his wife. What's it, Cheryl? Is it Cheryl Cooper? I think so. And then they cut, and it's a doll, and he's like throwing the doll around, and he runs off stage, and he comes out singing "Goes to Hell," which is I liked this album when I was a kid, man. I sat here and read I read along to this thing, and I was into it. So he comes out singing this, and then he goes from that. He wipes his makeup off and sings. Let me get a little bit into this. So he comes out, he's singing this song. As I put it to the part where he's not singing, of course. So it gets to this part, he's pulling off the makeup, he's wiping off the, no, he runs off stage, comes back, starts wiping off the makeup, and it goes to this song. This is a good album. I'm sorry, this is a fucking good album, man. Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Maybe it's because it was my youth that I like it so much. This is even a good ballad. Pretty sure Bob Ezrin's on this, is producing this one.
To the bone, it shakes me, babe. Just a heartache that got caught in my eye, and you know.
Yeah, completely written by Alice Cooper, Dick Wagner, and Bob Ezrin. And it's got this song on it, which is a great tune. Come on.
Just tried to have fun.
What do they say about it? Alice Cooper almost always delivers a killer overture. It must be his love of musical theater. Go to Hell is one of his best opening tracks, with a chorus of angry parents damning Alice for violence on the stage and refusing to act your age. Some fans might have damned him for the unrepentant disco tune You Gotta Dance that follows. If you like Cooper's solo work, you have to accept some showbiz schmaltz, but the scales can tip out of balance. Lace and Whiskey is worse, but Goes to Hell is guilty too, even if the saccharine ballad I Never Cry is one of Cooper's most personal songs. I like this album.
Like driving too fast.
All right, Dragontown is number 14. Dragontown? I don't know this album, but you're going to tell me Dragontown is higher rated than Alice Cooper Goes to Hell or Pretty's for You? Or Easy Action. On the follow-up to Brutal Planet, Cooper continued to paint from the industrial palette. Are you fucking kidding me? Do I have Dragontown? I do. Hear a little bit of, might as well hear the title track. Yet this time out, Cooper and songwriter, co-producer Bob Marlette found some varied textures within the all-out heaviness.
Well, here you are, lying bleeding on a grimy street. See the broken glass.
All right, this doesn't suck.
Sparkling darkly.
Is this the one that had that came with a comic book.
Smell the rotting stench, the rancid odor of old Cantonese. Feel the toxic flames all around you, you can hardly breathe. Come with me.
So what happened was he got signed. This album and the one before it, Brutal Planet, were on Spitfire. So I think he felt like since he was signed to a metal label that he had to do metal albums. That's my guess.
Gonna love this. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
No. You're telling me this is higher rated than fucking It Goes to Hell?
We can dig you a hole.
No, this is bad. This is bad.
So down Dragon Town, we'll be lower than low, spiraling down, far as you wanna go, down in Dragon Town. Open an angel.
I've heard enough of Dragontown. Ugh. I'm starting to question their ratings here, but Ultimate Classic Rock, maybe they're metal fans. I don't know. Number 13, Muscle of Love. This is the last album from the original Alice Cooper group, if I'm not mistaken. Following the theatrically and thematic unity of Billion Dollar Babies and Schools Out, the band endeavored to return to hard-charging rock and roll. Yeah, this was a stripped-down album, and it came, and I still have the original packaging. It came in a cardboard box, which I don't think is the best marketing of an album. It was hidden in a cardboard box. On the front of the cardboard box, it says, "This carton contains one Alice Cooper Muscle of Love." Get Muscle of Love, you get it, Muscle of Love. Not. It's probably of the original Alice Cooper groups. Did Bob Ezrin produce this one? I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did because he was doing all of Alice albums back then. I'm gonna pull it up just to make sure. No. Jack Richardson and Jack Douglas did Muscle of Love. There you go. Where was I? I forget. I'm losing it. Where is Muscle? Do I have Muscle of Love? I have to have Muscle of Love. I have it on vinyl if I don't. Hard-Hearted Alice. We hear a little bit of these. Well, Teenage Lament. This is good. Come on. So the band wanted. This is right before Alice went solo too. I think he would pretty much quit the band during the making of this album.
What a drag it is.
People told him he should go solo, and he was already making plans with Bob Ezrin while this album was being done.
Getting through your teens. Well, I cut my hair weird. I read that it was in.
They wanted to strip down because they had been doing such big theatrical productions, and I think the idea was to just make a stripped down rock and roll record.
What are you gonna do?
According to Dennis Dunaway's book, I think that he was starting to get a lot of shit from the band for being too much in the spotlight, and this was the chance to let the band shine more.
I ran into my room and I fell down on my knees.
Now let's hear what they say about it. Back to Basics record. Histrionics have rejected James Bond theme. Yeah, you pull the record out of the. Aren't they doing like the gangsters? Or is that greatest hits? Gold in the U.S., which was a disappointment because the last 3 albums were platinum. So by then, Alice Cooper had already planned on his solo career, and he was ready to dump the band. Rated number 13 on Ultimate Classic Rock. Number 12, The Last Temptation. I think this album's good, right? With his hair metal phase effectively ended by Hey Stupid, Cooper decided to dig in and make a concept record for the first time in a decade. Okay, this is his first concept record in a while. Since From the Inside, probably, right? This one finds frequent Cooper protagonist Steven lured into a twisted freak show by a satanic showman, played by Cooper, of course. Taking cues from grunge, along with a couple of songs from Chris Cornell, Last Temptation hits harder and feels heavier than any album since the Alice Cooper band broke up. Melodies are sharp too, partially due to co-conspirators Cornell, Jack Blades, Tommy Schall, Mark Hudson, and Jim Valance. The record sometimes bleeds into decadence, with child choirs, sound effects galore, but Cooper has never had a problem being over the top. Okay. Last Temptation. Do I have Last Temptation? All right. Stop Muscle of Love. I like Teenage Lament. The first song, Sideshow. See, that's good. That's good right there. That sounds like classic Alice Cooper.
I ain't got no fun today. It's just like yesterday. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and give this album another listen.
Great. Oh, I'm bored right out of my skull. I'd have to get high just to be dull. I'm institutional.
That's good. That's catchy as hell.
My TV screen spins around.
All right, there's another one here, Lost in America. I think this is a good one. I haven't listened to this album in forever.
I can't get a girl 'cause I ain't
That's
got
good.
a car.
That's a little like you gotta fight for your right to
I
party.
can't get a car 'cause I ain't got a job. Oh, I can't get a job 'cause I ain't got a car.
Produced by Don Fleming, Dwayne Barron, John Purdell, and Andy Wallace. Took 4 guys to produce that album.
Don't you know where you are? Lost in America, lost in America, lost in America, lost. I got a mind, but
Barry Weber of AllMusic.com wrote, by the time Last Temptation was released in '94, the hairband fad that had fueled Cooper's return was dead. And Alice was obviously aware of its downfall. The album sounds almost nothing like its two predecessors, Trash and Hey Stupid, far surpassing anything Cooper recorded in almost 20 years. Unquestionably some of his best work. I might tend to agree.
oh, I think I've been had. Lost in America, lost in America, lost in America, lost.
I'm going to have to go back and give that one a good listen. That might be worthy of a classic album's revisited. I don't know. All right, number 11, The Eyes of Alice Cooper. This is 2003, one of my favorite Alice Cooper records, with the exception of the original Alice Cooper group. The first 4 Bob Ezrin albums are just 4 of the best albums ever in existence of any band on the face of the earth. So those don't count. Nothing can compare to those. But Eyes of Alice Cooper came out in Eagle Entertainment or something like that. I think Ryan Roxie helped write this album, and Didn't I interview Ryan and Roxy when this album came out? I might have. Do I have Eyes of Alice Cooper? This has some of my favorite Alice Cooper tunes on it. Eyes of Alice Cooper. This one particularly, which is a great tune. This song is the whole album is clever as hell.
From its very first conception, seemed a struggle.
Ryan Roxy played on this. Eric Singer, I think, is the drummer.
It wasn't fast, wasn't pretty, wasn't serious or witty. The song that didn't rhyme.
Eric Dover on guitar. Is Eric Dover from Jellyfish?
Wing it, the singer couldn't sing it. The drummer's always out of time.
Yeah, Eric Dover was in Jellyfish, Slash the Snake Pit, Imperial Dragon.
Were offended, my union card suspended. Billboard.
Ryan Roxy on guitar, Chuck Garrick on bass.
The melody blows.
And Eric Singer. Wayne Kramer guests on a song called Detroit City.
The lyrics don't flow.
Friends, do yourself a favor, get this album. This album is quality.
My mind. A 3-minute waste of your time on a song that didn't rhyme.
Of course, the album didn't chart at all, didn't make any impact, but it's a great album.
All the groupies
all right, I know you think that song's silly, but that song is extremely clever. Here's a little bit. Trust me, friends, it's a good album. Although this one's kind of a little cheesy, but how about this one?
I guess I'm a loner, I don't fit in.
Okay. All right, number 10. Welcome to My Nightmare 2011. Rated that high? I have to disagree. I think I did a track by track on that album. Maybe I better revisit that one as well. I don't know. Cooper's first album of the 2010s was conceived as a sequel to his solo debut, but in many ways it's a summation of his entire career. Steven is back, so is producer Bob Ezrin. The 3 surviving Alice Cooper band members play on a few tracks. Dick Wagner also plays. Trash collaborator Desmond, as well as Desmond Child. If there's something you like about Alice Cooper, you'll find it here, from show-stopping overtures and breakneck rock and roll to goofy tunes and gruesome pop. All right, welcome to My Nightmare. I'm sure I have this because I did a track by track on it, unless I lost it with the iTunes crash. I don't remember this album being great, but we'll listen. See, that's a continuation from the first Welcome to My Nightmare.
In the beginning,
I don't remember which songs were written by the guys in Alice Cooper, but those are the ones the best songs.
In the beginning,
this song is filler.
In the beginning, I was blind.
Runaway Train, Dennis Dunaway co-wrote this one.
All aboard. Watch your step, people.
Okay. Get on with the fill. See, it's a lot of filler on this. Yeah, not a great album. Vince Gill sings on this one too, I think. Is Kesha on this album?
I found myself slipping away just inside a day.
Yeah, that's a Dennis Dunaway too. Not bad.
Up in a boxcar.
And Kesha's on this song, which this was back when I kind of had a celebrity. I kind of liked Kesha back then. Now that she's had plastic surgery, I'm off the Kesha train.
She's gonna come for you, and you can try to run and hide. No matter what you do, she's gonna take it deep.
Not a horrible album, but not a great album. Should not be as high as they gave.
You don't really understand. She feeds on flesh and blood and boys like you. She gonna make you be a man. She'll take your bleeding heart and your soul. No regrets, 'cause what baby wants, baby gets.
All right, number 9, From the Inside. They gave From the Inside higher than Goes to Hell. Cooper's 4th solo album is also the least heavy record of his career, but that's not an insult. From the Inside sounds like an Elton John disc. That's because I think Bernie Taupin wrote a lot of From the Inside, didn't he? I believe so. Let me see if I can find From the Inside. Is there a hit on From the Inside? This is when Alice Cooper was doing ballads. From starts with an F. Let me get to okay. We know Nurse Rosetta. Oh, here's the hit. Remember this one? This album, I'm sorry, this album's not great. They gave it a way too high rating.
Surprised to hear from me. Bet you're sitting drinking coffee.
I believe this was produced by Bob Ezrin too.
Just to let you know, I'm gonna be home soon. I'm kinda awkward and afraid.
No, produced by David Foster, who produced Christina Aguilera, Tony Braxton, a lot of pop albums. Yeah, this is bad.
Please don't see me ugly, babe, 'cause I know I let you down.
I've gotten into discussions with Billy Rowe from the Butlers about this album. He thinks it's a great album.
How you gonna see me now?
I believe this album didn't chart either, or
We've
didn't.
been on our own. Are you gonna love the man when the man gets home? Listen, darling, now I'm headed for the west. Straightened out my head.
Yeah, bad. They gave it way too high of a rating. All right, number 8, Dirty Diamonds, which was the follow-up to Eyes of Alice Cooper, I believe. Not as good, but it still has some clever stuff. Cooper still had some tools left in the garage after the Eyes of Alice Cooper, and he put them to good use on Dirty Diamonds. The album is loaded with gnarly nuggets. Let me just make sure I'm still recording here. Yes, I am. We're an hour and a half. Oh, boy. The album is loaded with gnarly nuggets inspired by British invasion rock and straight shooting punk. Ryan Roxie and Damon Johnson from Black Star Riders, right? Get to play Keith Richards and Ronnie Wood on the Stonesy Rockers' Perfect and Sunset Babies, while Cooper proves he has a still killer roar. All right. There's a song on here called The Ballad of Jessie Jane, which I really like a lot. I'm going to let all right, I'm not going to play this one yet because there's more rockin' tunes on here, but I'll play a little bit of this one. Then I'm going to play Saga of Jessie Jane and go use the bathroom. I'm 5 Tecates in. That's good. Straight ahead rock. That's great. But this song I really like a lot. I'm going to let this play while I go use the bathroom.
I'm in jail in a Texas town, in my sister's wedding gown. I drive a truck all night long, listening to Judy Garland's song.
Yes, I know you're thinking, Butler, you've lost your mind, this is crap, but I believe it's really clever.
I was just looking for a happy meal. I parked my rig and
about a trucker who is a transvestite.
Never seen such a pretty bride. Jessie, Jane, are you insane? Or are you just a normal guy who dresses like a butterfly? Jessie.
I think that is extremely clever and I like it a lot. Disagree with me? Send an email to rockandrollgeek@gmail.com with the subject line, Butler, you've lost your mind. You're liking a song about a transvestite truck driver. You're an idiot. I'm unsubscribing to your crappy fucking podcast. Put that in the subject line. rockandrollgeek@gmail.com.
His face was red.
If you agree with me, all right.
He's clenched. He threw his coat and he got me drenched.
All right, number 7. A little bit more.
Jessie, Jane, are you insane? Or are you just an average Joe looking for?
I think the creativity is at an all-time high on this album. I like it a lot. I wish they'd play this live.
I guess that was the final straw. I pulled a pistol from my wonder bra. I killed him dead. I killed them all. And they finally caught me in the bathroom stall. And now I'm doing 10 to life. But I'll tell you one thing, Bubba. Someday I'm gonna make someone in here a hell of a wife. Jessie,
has a sense of humor, doing his best Johnny Cash, and I'm just opening my 5th Tecate. Getting drunk on Alice Cooper. What could be better on a Friday night, friends? All right, number 7. On Ultimate Classic Rock's Worst to Best, Alice Cooper, Flush the Fashion from 1980. When people hear the phrase, this album is great, I think it's fucking great. When people hear the phrase Alice Cooper's new wave albums, it conjures upsetting images of the masqueraded marauder running away with a flock of seagulls. This one, say what you want. This song is fucking great. Now, this is the album that came out around the time of Roadie, I believe, 1980.
I'm too doctor, he's on the line. We'll take incubation.
Totally took a left turn on this album. 1980, the album before that was From the Inside. Yeah, way better than From the Inside. Cast it around this time was when the Cars were huge. So again, Alice Cooper following trends, following the Cars.
I'm through, doctor. We don't need your kind. The other ones, ugly ones, stupid boys, wrong ones.
Produced by Cars producer Roy Thomas Baker. How about that? Yeah.
We're all clones, all the one and all the one and
But this song is one of my favorite Alice Cooper tunes. On the Roadie movie, Alice Cooper performs this in concert. Am I right about that? Because it's been a long time since I've seen Roadie, but I think I remember him singing this live on the Alice Cooper, on the Roadie movie. I love this tune.
And I'm the ache in the belly when the baby cries. And I'm that burning sensation when the convict fries. I'm pain. I'm your pain. Unspeakable pain. I'm your cry pain. And I'm the compound fraction.
Great tune. Great tune. I like that album. I agree with them. That's up there in the top 10 Alice Cooper albums for me. All right, number 6, Dada. Huh. I heard an interview with Alice Cooper a long time ago, and he said that a lot of people come to him and tell him that they really like the album Dada. So I should probably go back and listen to this album again, because I haven't listened to this in forever, so I couldn't even tell you what tunes are good on this album. Alice Cooper took us inside his nightmare, but Dada might be his only record that could actually cause one. Much of that is due to the cavernous environments that producer Bob Ezrin helped create. From the ominous opener, in which distant baby cries, Dada, the album sounds like a sonic sequel to The Wall. Cooper matches the dark mood with dark humor, whether telling the tale of a woman with serious Santa fetish on No Man's Land. Oh, let's hear the Santa fetish.
I got a job in Atlanta in a mall playing Santa, not because of any talent, but because I was the only one to suit fit.
I think this is the third of the blackout period, right?
With the fingers in my beard, I guess they thought that I was really it. She sat down on my lap and said to me, I'm 23 and I need someone.
Whether telling the tale of a woman with a serious Santa fetish on No Man's Land, or facetiously embodying ugly Americans on I Love America. Let's hear I Love America. Dick Wagner back to guitar on this album.
I love Velveeta slapped on Wonder Bread. I love a commie if he's good and dead. Yeah. I love Old Glory and homemade pie. I think them Ruskies should be sterilized.
All right, maybe I'm gonna have to go back and give Dada a better listen. 1983. They gave it number 6. So I'm gonna have to revisit. I'm gonna have to revisit The Last Temptation and Dada. Number 5, Welcome to My Nightmare. Now we're getting to the top 5. I would agree. Welcome to My Nightmare, probably number 5. This is the first solo album by Alice Cooper, and it is a not as good as the Alice Cooper band albums, but it's a pretty damn good album. I mean, it's got this. I saw the concert movie in the movie theater, 1975. I was like 14 years old. I remember going to the Riverside. I don't know if it was called the Riverside Theater, but it was a movie theater in Riverside of Jacksonville, Florida, with my friend Mike Brown. And we went to see this on a Saturday morning, I believe. And it was fun. You know this album. It's got the Black Widow on it. It's got great song after great song. Devil's Food. They also did a TV show called The Nightmare, which is not as good as the movie.
Get ready for the lady.
And of course, it's got Only Women Bleed, of course, hit. This is when he discovered that ballads could make him a lot of money. And how about this? Come On. It's a great album. Needless to say, it's a great album, and it's worthy of the top 5. So ultimate classic rock got it right. Great tune. And I held the Cold Ethel doll sitting in a wheelchair when Jet Boy opened for them at the Warfield, and I got kicked out of the band for holding the Cold Ethel doll, but it was fucking worth it!
We met last night, making love by the refrigerator light. Let me squeeze you in my arms.
And Department of Youth. Yeah, anthem after anthem.
We're in trouble all the time. You read about us all in the
And Escape. Oh, come on, what a fucking album, man. Oh, God, I love Alice Cooper. For him to go solo, to follow up Muscle of Love with Welcome to My Nightmare. Oh, the band must have just been fucking so pissed off when he came out with this album, and it broke huge. Two times platinum in Canada, silver in the UK, platinum in the United States. Yeah, he orchestrated his career, the solo move, perfectly. All right, number 4. Now, you could go either, I'm sure the number 4, the top 4 of the original Alice Cooper group albums, they give number 4 School's Out. Now, the like I said, the first 4 Bob Ezrin albums of Alice Cooper Group, 4 of the best albums ever in existence. So, it doesn't matter where these are. These are probably not necessarily my order, but I can't argue with any of these. School's Out, they give number 4. Is there a better opening shot than the first few seconds of School's Out? The anthem of all Teenage Rebellion anthems. Come on. But this album is a masterpiece. A total masterpiece. I would have probably given this one high. I would have probably rated this one. I'd have probably rated this number 2 or 3.
Well, we got no choice.
And how about this one here? Oh, that's good too. Blue Turk. Listen to Dennis Dunaway. This album. The concept is a little bit like West Side Story. Man, this band was on all cylinders at this point. They ruled the world. They were so creative. They just blew everybody on the face of the earth away. And you got this one, My Stars. Jeez. Again, any of the first 4 Bob Ezrin and Alice Cooper albums, you can't go wrong. If you do not own these albums, I know I'm getting a little bit too far into this show. We're already like an hour and 49 minutes. It's going to be a long episode, but if you don't own any of these 4 albums, what is wrong with you, friends? You have to go get these 4 albums. Public Animal number 9. And my favorite of this album, Alma Mater. This album is fucking brilliant. It's brilliant, masterpiece. Masterpiece. I would rate, this would be my, probably top 2. This would be probably number 2.
Rain is falling down my cheek, searching for
The album folds out into a desk. Folds out into a little, so it folds out into a school desk, and inside the album are a pair of panties.
I watch the bus as it pulls.
And on the desk, everybody in the band's name is scribbled into the wood of the desk.
That bus I will be leaving too. But you know, it breaks my heart to leave you. Camelback. My heart.
What an album, what an album. All right, they get number 3. I gotta let a little bit more of this play, I'm sorry. If you don't own School's Out, go, dude, what is wrong? Go get it. Steal it. Whatever you gotta do. It's a great album.
But you know, it breaks my heart.
All right, number 3 was the third Alice Cooper Band album. First one to bring it with Bob Ezrin. By the way, I interviewed Bob Ezrin on the Rock and Roll Geek Show a long time ago. And we talked extensively about this album, Love It to Death. Love It to Death scared the shit out of a lot of people. This band, on the front of the album cover, you got Neil Smith in the back, this tall, lanky dude wearing a women's lingerie. You got a guy wearing a dress in the front, Alice Cooper. Michael Bruce with gold lame pants. Dennis Dunaway looking like it's just a total freak. And Glenn Buxton just looking like Glenn Buxton. The record made the quintet practice, the producer made the quintet practice for hours a day. They landed a signature sound. He worked the band to death on this album. This album influenced the Sex Pistols and the Ramones. And who can forget Ballad of Dwight Fry? Love It to Death. Great album. The last album on, little fun fact. Remember I told you about, you may already know this, I don't know, but I'm going to sound like Eddie Trunk here, like I know more than the average guy. Although I don't, but I'm going to act like it. But first I'm going to take a sip of my 5th Tecate. This is the song Alice gets into a straitjacket. So this was the last of the Frank Zappa straight records. Remember when I said that that the deal he had with Warner Brothers for straight records, if he didn't have a hit after like 3 or 4 albums or some certain amount of albums, they had to buy him out of his contract for millions of dollars. Well, they brought in Bob Ezrin, and lo and behold, I'm 8, this song became a huge hit. Frank Zappa, this according to the interview that I heard on some show with either Shep Gordon or Bob, one is some guy, either Bob Ezrin or Shep Gordon. This song became a hit. Frank Zappa was pissed because this song, which propelled this album to platinum. Did it go platinum in the United States? Propelled the album to platinum, got tons of airplay, blew Frank Zappa's multi-million-dollar payoff. So he was pissed. But it set this band on their way, and like I said, one of the greatest bands of all time. All right, they give number 2 to Killer, 1971. Now, Killer, I think, is my favorite Alice Cooper album, but who's going to argue? Killer 2 or 1, it doesn't matter. Where's Killer? Don't tell me I don't have Killer on here due to the iTunes crash. I have Killer on here, right? Come on, Butler. Yes, I do. This is my favorite album because, I mean, it's got this song on it. On the album cover, red album cover, with Alice Cooper scribbled, the name Alice Cooper scribbled, and the word Killer scribbled even worse with a snake head. 1971, friends. Wow, what an album this is. My favorite Alice Cooper album. Starts off, every song starts off with this one. Come on, Under My Wheels. Into Be My Lover, followed by Halo of the Flies, which he still plays Halo of the Flies live, and it's great. 8 minutes and 22 seconds of masterpiece. Dennis Dunaway, fantastic bass lines. Nobody was doing this in 1971. Nobody. Alice Cooper took the world by storm with their fucking creativity. Bring it to the end of the song. Builds up to a fucking great crescendo into the masterpiece that's known as Desperado. What an album. What a band. I'm sorry, friends. I'm losing it now, but I'm on an Alice Cooper kick.
I'm a gambler. And
gotta
I'm
let it go into the
runner.
chorus.
But you knew that when you laid down. I'm a picture of ugly stories. I'm a killer and I'm a clown. Step into the street by sundown. Step into your last goodbye. You're a target.
Yeah, then into You Drive Me Nervous. Oh man, this was the follow-up to Love It to Death. What a great follow-up. Into Yeah, Yeah, Yeah.
I'll be a stranger.
Into Dead Babies. With Dead Babies. Go look at this in his bass line. You're telling me you don't own Killer, friends? You don't own Alice Cooper Killer? Am I going to have to put Alice Cooper Killer in the bonus content along with... Which one did I say I was putting in there? Uh-oh, I forgot which the original one I was going to put in there. Oh, Good, the Bad, and the Wasted. Am I going to have to not put Killer and Good, the Bad, and the Wasted from Waysted in the bonus content of this episode? That would be wrong! But fuck it, I got to. I can't, right? It would be wrong. Gotta let this one go to the chorus, too.
Dead babies can't take care of them.
Followed by Killer, when he brings out the hangman's noose. They walk him up to the gallows to be hung on stage. What an album. What an album. Fuck. My favorite Alice Cooper album. All right. Ultimate Classic Rock's number 1 best Alice Cooper album, which I can't argue. I mean, any of the top 4, like I said. 1973, $1 Billion Babies, tons of hits. That was the biggest tour from, probably the biggest album as well, and a big tour. Watch a movie called Good to See You Again, Alice Cooper, which was a mixture of concert footage from the $1 Billion Babies tour mixed with a bunch of stupid skits, but I liked the movie a lot. Dennis Dunaway talks about it in his book, and he trashes the movie. He says it's a piece of shit, but I disagree. I liked it. The band was supposedly, according to according to Dennis Dunaway, the band was starting to fall apart a little bit at this time because Alice was getting all of the accolades, and which is why they did Muscle of Love after, to appease the band. And by then, Alice Cooper was preparing his solo career. But good album. It's a great album. It's a fantastic album. Not as good as Killer to me, but a lot of great albums. Of course, this song, or a lot of great songs. Of course, this one. I'm going to read from Ultimate Classic Rock. Here's where it all came together. Song, sound, and showmanship. The result was an epic album on which everything feels big. Donovan sings on this. I interviewed Donovan, and we talked about this song. Let's go take it from the top. Hello, 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 hooray. Great song. Raped and Freezing. Followed by Elected. Remember the video for this? Alice Cooper for president was what they said during this time. Yeah, this album is great. Great album. Followed by $1 Billion Babies. Followed by Unfinished Suite with the dancing toothbrushes. Followed by No More Mr. Nice Guy, one of the greatest Alice Cooper songs of all time. Followed by Generation Landslide. Ta-da! Followed by Sick Things. In cars rotate. Followed by Marianne. Followed by I Love the Dead. All right, friends. There you go. We made a whole show. Alice Cooper from worst to best. Hope you're an Alice Cooper fan, because if you're not, I'm sure you skipped this episode. But dead before their a little retrospective of his career. I'm glad I stumbled upon that article. I had to get to this bit after discovering that Alice Cooper has a son who puts out crappy music. Thank you for listening, friends. Nothing. I'm going to close out the show with one more song, but before I play this song, let me tell you how you can reach me. rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. I love the dead before they You can find this show at rockandrollgeek.com.
I never even knew your now rotting face.
You can find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek.
I have other uses for you.
You can find me on the Twitter at R&R Geek. You can find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek Don't Ask, where it's mostly fishing photos, but that's okay. Find the show at rockandrollgeek.com. Area code 70621-ROCK for an audio comment, or just record it on your phone and email it to rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. All right. I'm going to close out with a song that was sent to me by a friend of the show, Todd Cunningham. This is Joan Jett from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Sorry, Joan. Give me a second here. From the Rocky Horror Picture Show, sent to me by a friend of the show, Todd Cunningham. Did I miss anything? Because I'd made notes here. Thank you for the ghost feedback. I got a ton of emails. Thank you so much. I'm really surprised I got so many emails, and I was thinking that I had no listeners anymore, but I got a ton of emails from people responding to Ghost track by track. Thank you, friends. It made me feel good. But everybody, the one song that I said was the best one, something about sin, living in sin, or something. I said I recognized the song. Well, everybody told me it's a cover of the Pet Shop Boys. Yes, so it's a cover of the Pet Shop Boys, and that Pet Shop Boys song is a ripoff of Cat Stevens' It's a Wild World. So, yes. Thank you, friends, for steering me in the right direction. And I'll say almost 90, I'm going to say about probably 99% of the people, 99.8% of the people who responded on the emails and on the Facebook agree with me about the Ghost album. Maybe one person thinks it's a good album, but thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate it, friends. All right, I'm gonna close out with this song now, sent to me by Todd Cunningham from a Dr. Demento album that just came out. Let me read so I can read Todd Cunningham. I was looking at this Dr. Demento album that just came out. I downloaded Joan Jett doing science fiction double feature from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. All right, so that's what I'm gonna close out with, friends. Thank you for listening. Please keep the donations coming. Without your donations, this show would die a horrible, putrid, stench-filled Alice Cooper has risen from the grave death. All right. We'll talk to you soon, friends. On Thursday, I'm interviewing Robert Lawson, the guy who wrote the Cheap Trick book, also wrote a Nazareth book. We're going to talk Nazareth next week, on next Thursday. So you'll get a show next week. Thank you, friends. All right. Here's Joan Jett doing science fiction double feature. We'll talk to you next week, friends.
The day the earth stood still, but he told us where we stand. And Flash Gordon was there in silver underwear. Claude Rains was the invisible man. Then something went wrong. Oh, Fred Ray and King Kong, they got caught in a cellular jam. At a deadly pace, it came from outer space. This is how the message ran. Science fiction double feature. Dr. X build a creature. The androids fighting Brad and Janet and Francis stars in Bed Planet. Whoa, 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 whoa. At the late night double feature picture show. Carol was over a barrel when Tarantula took to the hills. And I really got hot when I saw Jeanette Scott fight a trick that spits poison and kills. Peter Andrews had prunes, gave him the runes, passing them use lots of skills. And when worlds collide, said George Fauci was right, I'm gonna give you some terrible thrills. Science fiction double feature. Dr. X build a creature. The android
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.